Hello and welcome to this edition of Tab Tuesday, where I share one tab that I have open that is helping me help people like you know better, do better, and feel better. And today's tab is about tantrums versus meltdowns and how do you tell the difference. There's different ways to approach both behaviors when you see your child kind of having this little, example of behaviors. And I'm going to be careful not to say tantrum or meltdown because they are two different things. One of the things that I'd like to clarify is that when a child is having a tantrum, it's usually about behavior, okay? They are showing a behavioral reaction to something, that made them mad. They didn't get their needs met. They want something, they didn't get it, or they want to avoid something, and you're making them do it. So they're having this little tantrum, right? And maybe they're flailing, maybe they're crying, kicking, and screaming, but they still seem to have some sense of control, okay? They're probably likely, if they're having a tantrum, just acting out to get attention. They want to push boundaries, they want to annoy you and make you frustrated, so you give in and give them what they want. They're demanding something, and you're not going to give it to them, and so then they start having this little tantrum, okay? They're still rational. They can still kind of see who's watching them. They can see what they're doing. They're in control of what they're doing, but they're doing it to be maybe manipulative or to get what they want, okay? A lot of times you can tell their tantrums are happening when they end abruptly because you have given in, or maybe because they get what they want, or because we're just so annoyed and we quit, we kind of quit engaging and the tantrum stops automatically. Behavior for tantrums is often meant to just be manipulative, okay? Oftentimes tantrums are a choice. Kids are choosing to act like this. Now the difference is, you might be thinking, no, my kid has tantrums, they can't control it. Then I would encourage you to learn about a sensory meltdown or about meltdowns in general. And meltdowns are more like biological reactions to feeling overwhelmed and overstimulated by a situation, or not knowing how to cope effectively with what's going on around them, or maybe they're oversensitized, like things are too hot, too cold, too loud, it's too much information, things are moving too fast, I don't know what to do. Maybe there's some stressors that are happening in there, okay? At that time, we notice a pretty specific difference in a meltdown versus a tantrum. A meltdown is where a child really starts to lose the ability to control their body, to reason, or to be rational about what they're doing. There may be some, violent or aggressive behavior towards objects or towards people, and they really don't know, or frankly, they're not capable of caring in those moments because they're so oversensitized by what's going on. Meltdowns can last longer than a tantrum. It's very, very difficult to talk a child out of a meltdown. You want to be able to provide reassurance and validation and a calm, quiet presence if your child is experiencing a meltdown. Once they get to that point of no return, you really don't have a choice but to offer reassurance and compassion for your child and keep them safe during the meltdowns until they get through it. It's important to remember too, during a meltdown, your child isn't asking or demanding for anything before this happens. They are having a physiological and biological reaction to just being truly overwhelmed and overstimulated. So you can see that the difference between a tantrum, where kids are kind of using manipulation, using, like this kind of like fake kind of fighting against you, right? Maybe they're kind of like punching you and saying, I want this, and they're just annoying, and you can redirect them and you can tell them to stop, and they just kind of keep going. They're thinking about what they're doing, they're making a choice, and so that's more of a tantrum to get attention, to get what they want. But a sensory meltdown is much more significant in the sense that a child can't be talked out of it. Once they hit that point and they're so overstimulated, the best things you can do are provide safety, calm reassurance, and make sure that you're there with the child after the meltdown to be able to validate and talk through it and say, you know what, that was a big one. That was a really hard thing for you. How are you doing now? Do you need a drink? Do you need a snack? Do you need a hug from mom? That was a big one, and I'm glad we got through it together. And it's not necessary to rehash out and be like, oh, why'd you act like that? And how come you don't ever act like that again? And that's really not going to be effective in helping a child work through some of those sensory meltdowns. If you want more information about this, feel free to reach out to us here at Timeout Behavior Coaching, where we help families know better, do better, and feel better. And that's today's Tab Tuesday. Thanks.